Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a situation that is hitting incredibly close to home for millions of Americans, and that's residential solar contracts. Look, we all know the appeal, right? Lowering your carbon footprint, saving on utility bills, getting that energy independence, it honestly sounds fantastic. But beneath those sunny, feel-good promises lies a really complex and, quite frankly, often predatory industry. So we're going to unpack the hidden realities of solar financing today. And more importantly, we're going to explore exactly how you can break free if you're feeling completely trapped by your panels.
It's a question thousands of homeowners are losing sleep over right now. You had the absolute best of intentions. You just wanted to save a few bucks and go green. But the hard truth here is that the residential solar industry has mutated into this massive financial machine that often prioritizes corporate profits way over your actual household savings. If you're looking at your monthly bill right now and wondering why on earth you are paying more today than before you even got the panels, well, you are absolutely not alone.
All right, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. Number 1, the free solar illusion. 2, deceptive tactics exposed. 3, the tax credit trap. 4, blocked home sales. And finally, number 5, finding your escape route.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the free solar illusion.
The sales pitch is incredibly seductive, isn't it? These door-to-door salespeople who, by the way, are often 100% commission-based, will look you in the eye and say the system is zero cost. They'll tell you the government is basically paying for the whole shebang and that you're never going to see another utility bill. But according to the Center for Responsible Lending, the reality is a completely different story. These sales teams use high-pressure tactics. They'll pull out proprietary apps on their tablets and rush you into 20 to 25-year financing agreements way before you can even skim the fine print. And the result? Hidden dealer fees and payments that just keep escalating.
The abuses have actually gotten so bad that state officials are being forced to step in. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong recently sued major solar companies, including SunRun, specifically for these unlawful sales tactics. I mean, think about it. When state authorities are calling the complaints beyond shocking and literally citing forged electronic signatures and impersonations of consumers, you know we're dealing with a massive systemic issue here, not just a couple of bad apples.
Moving right along to Section 2, deceptive tactics exposed.
This really breaks down the systematic nature of the problem into 4 clear categories. You've got misleading sales practices, you have unscrupulous installers who leave you with a damaged roof or, very commonly, a drastically undersized system that doesn't even power your home. Then there are the predatory contract clauses, and finally, the blatant targeting of vulnerable populations like the elderly. It is basically a multi-layered trap.
Now, to understand how to get out, you have to know exactly which trap you're caught in. There are basically 3 flavors here. First, solar leases, where you don't actually own the panels, but you pay a fixed monthly rent for 20 to 25 years. Then you have power purchase agreements, or PPAs, where again you don't own the panels, but you pay a variable rate for the electricity they produce. And lastly, solar loans. Here, you do technically own the system, but you're saddled with a fixed loan that almost always slaps a heavy lien right onto your home.
And the real kicker, it's often buried in a tiny little detail called the escalator clause. A lot of these leases and PPAs have an annual escalator of up to 2.9%. Now sure, 2.9% sounds pretty small up front, but the math over time is devastating. At that rate, a $150 monthly payment will effectively double over the 25-year life of the contract. This backloading ensures that long after your panels are totally outdated technology, you are still paying top dollar for them.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, has been explicitly warning the public about these exact red flags. They've found that lenders love to cram hidden dealer fees right into the loan principal, which can artificially inflate the cost by 30% or more above the cash price. Add in wildly exaggerated savings claims, plus forced arbitration clauses that totally strip your right to take them to court, and you've got a textbook recipe for a financial disaster.
Which brings us to Section 3, the tax credit trap.
Okay, so salespeople absolutely love to talk up the 30% federal investment tax credit. They'll present your loan principal as a net cost, completely assuming you are going to get that money back from Uncle Sam. But here is the hard truth. This tax credit is non-refundable and it is absolutely not guaranteed. It only lowers your tax liability. So if you're a low-income homeowner or a senior citizen on a fixed income with zero tax liability, you get absolutely nothing, zero. Yet your massive loan is structured as if you did get that cash.
And that missing tax credit leads directly into the dreaded month 18 balloon payment.
See, your nice low introductory payment for the first 18 months is just a mirage. If you don't take that 30% tax credit, which remember you probably didn't even qualify for, and physically hand it over to the lender by month 18, the entire loan instantly re-amortizes. Boom. Your monthly bill completely skyrockets, and suddenly you are trapped paying off a wildly inflated loan principal for the next 2 decades.
Let's talk about the fallout in Section 4, blocked home sales.
If you took out a solar loan, the company almost certainly slapped UCC1 fixture filing on your property. This is a legal move that lets the lender claim an interest in the equipment, which effectively clouds the title of your home. So when you go to sell or refinance, this lien pops up, terrifies potential buyers, and brings the entire real estate transaction to a screeching halt. And according to Better Business Bureau complaints, some solar companies intentionally leverage this immense pressure while you're stuck in escrow to force you into terrible, expensive buyout deals.
When prospective buyers see a 20-year lease attached to a house, they usually just turn around and walk away. Or, if they do actually want to assume the lease, they have to pass the solar company's ridiculously strict FICO qualifications. Because of this, the only way a seller can close the home sale is to buy out the solar contract themselves. Homeowners are frequently forced to cough up anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 straight out of pocket just to get rid of the panels and close the deal. Between the derailed sales and the clouded titles, people are literally losing up to $100,000 in hard-earned home equity. It's unreal.
Okay, take a breath. Section 5, finding your escape route. Your hidden legal weapon here is the Truth in Lending Act, or TILA. If a solar lender hid finance fees or missed even a single required disclosure during your super rush sales process, which, let's be honest, happens almost all the time, these TILA violations can give homeowners up to 3 years to legally void their loan entirely. It's an incredibly powerful legal mechanism if you know how to use it. Professional consumer protection firms handle this very systematically. They usually start with a deep contract analysis to find those exact TILA violations or rescission issues. Then, they build out a highly customized legal strategy, negotiate directly with the massive lenders on your behalf, and push for a complete contract exit and the full release of that nasty property lien. Now, when you actually look at the math, your choices become crystal clear. A straight brute force buyout from the solar company is going to cost you $10,000 to $30,000. But hiring a specialized firm like ADT Solar Recovery completely changes the game. They operate on a flat fee retainer of $6,000, and they even offer financing for just $200 a month. When you frame that as a risk-to-reward scenario, spending a few $1,000s over time is a massive benefit compared to losing $100,000 in home equity or paying for panels for 25 years.
But a quick word of caution. The exit industry absolutely has its own bad actors, demanding massive upfront fees with zero written guarantees. You have to look for legitimate experts. For instance, ADT Solar Recovery maintains a massive 65 to 80% win rate specifically because they use a really strict initial screening process. They simply will not take your case or your money unless they actually find the legal loopholes needed to get you out.
There are a few other valid escape routes depending on your timeline. If you literally just signed, you have a federally protected cooling off period, usually 3 to 30 days, to cancel with zero penalty. Later on, you might be able to negotiate a strategic market value purchase or invoke an unforeseen financial hardship clause. But please, hear this loud and clear. Whatever you do, never just stop making your payments. Doing that will absolutely ruin your credit score and open you up to aggressive lawsuits. You have to use proper legal channels.
Look, if you are feeling overwhelmed, or maybe even a little foolish for signing that tablet on your porch, please just let that go. You were targeted by highly trained professionals who used incredibly sophisticated psychological and financial tactics against you. You didn't do anything wrong, you are absolutely not alone in this. And most importantly, you possess genuine legal rights to fight back and reclaim your peace of mind.
So, what is your next move going to be? It's time to look closely at those utility bills and dig out that contract. Getting professional help really is a massive risk-to-reward benefit when the alternative is losing your home equity or paying inflated bills for the next quarter of a century. Are you ready to let the professionals find those legal loopholes the salespeople prayed you'd never see and finally take back your financial freedom? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Catch you next time.